Now
It's
recording.
Craig.
Craig, welcome back.
Craig uses an open license.
Craig does use it. Yeah, Craig's not fucking up these days. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, shit, there goes my YouTube monetization. Anyways.
Yep, it was way too early in the video.
It was, I didn't wait 15 seconds before dropping one. So
Yep.
that's all right. I don't have monetization anyways. Yeah, Craig, he's great. He didn't need me to use his license. Anyways, actually, I don't know that. Don't take my word on that. I don't know what Craig's
All of a
license
sudden,
is.
we get emails from Craig.
Craig
Cease and desist.
Actually, I own all the content that I've ever recorded from you the whole time, and I'm like, you bastard, Craig. So I guess that kind of gives away what we're going to talk about, even though we were saying we might be a little late to this. You know what? I think we let the story develop before we got around to talking about it.
That's how you're going to spin it.
Yeah, I'm not like one of those cheapo journalists who jumps on it the immediate. You remember when?
Oh no, Eric, your immediate reaction was like, "Fuck D&D, I'm fucking done."
Hey, that was. But you know what? A lot more has come out since then. My attitude towards it, while still mostly the same, has tempered a little.
If we would have recorded on Tuesday, you would have been like,
I would have been. Yeah, if we'd recorded on Tuesday.
We're not playing Pathfinder. Done. I'm not doing it. I ain't gonna touch it. Fuck.
Listen, yeah, fuck it, dude. I honestly, I'm still. The anger has gone down a little, but for the most part, I think enough people unsubscribed from D&D Beyond and did all these things that they were forced to respond in a way that everyone wanted, and so my attitude's come down a little, but I'm still looking at other systems maybe I should try something else. Maybe now is a good time to try out some other system that I've always wanted to try.
Go try Pathfinder 2, realize it's shit, come back whenever D&D 0 comes out or whatever.
D&D 0.
D&D 0. No more additions.
All the D&D taste without the calories.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pathfinder 2 is great now. Anyways, we're not talking about Pathfinder 2. We're talking about the OGL, the Open Gaming License.
The Ogle.
The Ogle.
The Ogle.
What are you guys' thoughts on this dumpster fire that has been Wizards of the Coast's executive?
I think obviously you see it was a big mistake. That's one of the things I just feel there's no possible way that they're gonna stick to that. The way the community responded and everything, there's just no way.
Well, no,
I feel like we should give a bit of a timeline as to how we were recording this and all that. So
it's been about 2 weeks since the original. Here's the OGL 1.1,
the leaked one.
The leaked one.
None of us in this podcast have any firsthand
but there
experience.
There is firsthand.
There are firsthand accounts, but none of them are ours. Say that right up front. But
if it's been confirmed by multiple sources, let's just say I'm willing to say that OGL 1.1, the leak, was a real legal document that they sent to partners. It was not a draft. It was they said it was a draft. Anyways, the original one was atrocious. It comes out, hey, we own all your shit. Hey, sign this or you don't get to make our content anymore. Hey, do this, do this, do this. We get a cut of all your sales, and once you're over a certain thing and all these stuff. The original one, not the original 1.0A, the OGL that is currently out, and then the 1.1 that they were going to replace it with was just, I don't know how anyone wrote that down and thought no one will be mad at this. Not a single creator or anybody is gonna hate this. Everyone.
I think they thought that because it was only targeting people who were making over 750,000 a year. I think that they thought, oh, people won't care because it's only targeting the.
But there was pretty explicit wording in there where it seemed. I know they're it was never our intention for us to own your stuff, but it was it did kind of say that.
It's just so disgusting to see let me get my hand in that pot.
Let me get my hand in that pot.
Let me get my hand in. And you took our idea and made it better.
All
Give me your profits.
Yeah,
Thanks.
all that wording about like we want to stop bigger companies from profiting from our brand. It's like you kind of are. You're the biggest game in town.
Yeah,
You
there
are
are no
by
bigger
far.
companies.
There's no bigger tabletop company than
Yeah.
you, Wizards of the Coast. And I want to make a distinction right now. There is the design team of Dungeons and Dragons, Jay Craw, and like the designers, the people who work on the books, do the art, that kind of stuff. I do not necessarily think it was them that came up with the OGL, obviously, because they're designers, not lawyers and executives.
Yeah, I have
no
no
ill
doubt that they
will.
had nothing to do with it.
I have no ill will towards the design team.
It's
I have
Hasbro.
it's well, let's
Hasbro
be
is
fair.
easily the scapegoat, but it could have been anyone, any exec
Yeah.
at Wotc.
Yeah. I don't doubt that it was Wotc executives because of the stuff that happened with Magic the Gathering around the same, like just a couple months ago. It's like, yikes. And then they're like, you thought that was yikes? Hold my beer, son. I'm about to drop the biggest yikes on you ever seen.
And I don't know, like they could have been acting under pressure from Hasbro because Hasbro's owned them for a while now. I believe it was the Hasbro CEO that's going around saying that D&D is
the most
very
unmonetized.
unmonetized, undermonetized. So yeah, they come out with the one that they give to these other companies, apparently with contracts again. Well, I don't know for sure, but that's what like reliable sources have said.
Yep.
And then it got leaked, and the community lit it on fire.
Yep.
And then they were like, "Oh, well, maybe not. That was a draft."
That was a draft. How about we lie? Let's lie about some things. And everyone was like, this is still fucking bullshit. And they were like, oh, man. Okay,
They're like,
yeah.
they sent it out and like, we're just kidding, unless you're going to do it.
I want to emphasize this. Like, that OGL 1.1 leak happens. Wizards of the Coast didn't say anything for like 5 days. They didn't even, they were like, not touching that, dude. I'm just going to sit back and watch this fire burn.
Yikes.
And the fact that it was leaked leads me to believe that the design team had, like, there are people in WotC who didn't like it. Obviously.
Well, yeah, there was kind of, there was also like employees of WotC on Twitter saying like, yeah, the executive team doesn't care about the community or us or anybody. And, you know, there was a lot of internal stuff coming out from employees where it was like, ooh, yikes. And then someone's like, hey, just got some news from someone inside the company. They're looking at D&D Beyond subscriptions as a moniker of whether this is actually a problem or not. And then you have, I presume, considering the response we just got yesterday, a mass unsubscription from D&D Beyond. I'd have to guess. You did?
Yep.
I think you're the only one of us who actually had a paid subscription.
That is true.
But I also know that another friend of mine
still got through April. So
yeah. Another friend of mine, he unsubscribed, and I know like 4 people in his group all unsubscribed.
Well, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm subscribing right now.
I'm subscribing right now. I'm thinking sick.
I'm not saying I won't resubscribe around when it comes April. We'll see what they do. But I felt like it was certainly an easy enough thing for me to do to show some chutzpah for the community.
It blows you away whenever the big thing about D&D is the community and creating things within the community that become part of the game. You look at Critical Role, they have their own book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the whole thing now.
Big,
on the D&D Beyond website, you can go and look at homebrew stuff from thousands of other people and put it into your game.
It almost seems negligent to think that the homebrew content that people create isn't a value add for your brand. The stuff that people create
is.
Yeah, it totally is. It totally is. And on top of this, so 1.1 drops, fire, they respond. And then there's like there was a really great, I'm going to name a couple of like YouTubers and stuff that I was watching to find out this information. One of them was D&D Shorts. He's done a really great like kind of series on it. He was pretty fired up at the beginning. And then Legal Eagle.
Is that the dude with the big beard?
The dude with the big beard. The video I sent you at the right when I have it.
Yeah.
Legal Eagle on YouTube. He did a video about the legality of them being able to do it, because the OGL 1.0A seemed to be an irrevocable license anyways. And even in this thing that like it doesn't matter. There's precedent for game rules aren't even copyrightable or trademarked. You can't trademark them or anything, right? So the actual
just
core
a
rules of
presentation.
D&D, anybody could. It turns out you might be able to use it without Wizards of the Coast's licensing. Paizo and Kobold Press, Paizo specifically, was willing to go to court about it.
Mhm.
You can't stop us from using OGL 1.0A, and we'll go to court about it. Good for them. I think they're in the right, honestly. Like, you can't say this thing is one thing and then be like, well, I need to make some more money, so now let's change it. And now they're saying, so yesterday, we'll talk about the most recent news the most, because I can pull it up really easy, and I already have it pulled up.
Okay.
I'll read to you what they've said. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to read you the highlights.
All right.
Here's their thing. They want to protect D&D's inclusive play experience.
That's okay. That's bullshit.
This is the one.
The exclusive play experience is creating your own stuff.
Well, it's supposed to.
It's supposed to get rid of any like bigotry or racism and stuff like that. But
Yes.
the community polices that pretty well on its own.
Not only that,
let alone the fact that they can just be like, yeah, we didn't write that. Sorry.
Also, on top of that, in that Legal Eagle video, they already had the ability to do that with 1.0A. So this, like, I still think this is one of the biggest bullshit things. The rest of this stuff seems all right. So OGL 1.2 lets us act on when offensive or hurtful content is published. They could already do this stuff. I think that this part of it, this little protecting inclusive play experience, I think this is a whole crock of horseshit. Now they go on to talk about tabletop RPGs and virtual tabletops, and how, we're going to keep letting people do virtual tabletop stuff. And like, I don't really think that we use Tailspire. I don't think Tailspire ever had anything to be afraid of. It doesn't have the rules in the game. There's nothing specific.
They were pretty clear on the fact that they were making a tabletop for TTRPGs and not D&D specifically.
Yes, they were this is no rules.
They had a bunch of dice. They had no rule sets in there at all. They stayed away from all of the copyrighted monsters. That's why there's no beholders in there.
Yeah. So I don't think the only virtual tabletop that I think were in any danger was like maybe that the Forge one. I can't remember the name of it. It's on Steam. And like Roll20 and stuff like that probably had a little bit of a scare from this. But now they're saying that's no issue. And then on from that, they're going to deauthorize the OGL 1.0A. They say, we know this is a big concern. The Creative Commons license and the open terms of one pursuer are intended to help with that. One key reason we have deauthorized, we can't use the protective options in 1.2 if someone can just choose to publish harmful, discriminatory, or illegal content under 1.0A. And again, any content you've already published under 1.0A will still be licensed under 1.0A. This is another one of those, like, why? Can you even do it legally? One, that's up in the air. We're not lawyers. No legal advice. This is the protecting an inclusive play experience thing again. This is just horseshit. They already had the ability to do that.
I feel like we should back up just a little bit. This doesn't affect any like YouTube streams, Twitch streams. It doesn't affect any other like fan content stuff. This specifically affects written like
published
additions to the game. So lore and or rules variants like subclasses, classes, things like that. Things that are written in a book or a PDF that add to the lore and or rules of D&D 5e. So
and even that's dubious.
If they're that interested in getting rid of anyone who's going to be doing racist things with D&D, that's not going to stop it. Like,
no.
Anyone's character can be racist and on a stream, and that's it.
And that's it.
And I don't think
there's. Then you get into weird.
I don't think that it has. No. I think that it has a very little. I think that has nothing to do.
They're focusing on it a lot because it looks
because
really
it's
good
the PC way to do it. Yeah. but I think that it has little to zero to do with why they're doing this.
Yeah.
The D&D shorts suggested that a lot of this is being done to corner the market in virtual tabletop stuff so
Yeah.
they can sell microtransactions.
Because there's some stuff about like they don't want you making
Look, man, they got to recoup that money off that movie that's gonna bomb.
Yeah, that's gonna bomb now.
And they know it.
No,
They
no joke.
pushed the start date back or the release date for it back like twice.
Yeah, they would have
Did
to.
they?
Like
Oh, I didn't see
the
that.
terrible terrible PR that's coming out about them right now. No one's going to want to watch that movie.
I know, dude. And
They've got to fix this before that
people
comes
being
out, or
like,
it's going to tank.
boycott the new D&D movie. But we're getting off track. This thing is just like the racism and stuff like that. That's totally an optics thing. I don't think there was an issue, and having this license isn't going to stop it at all.
Yep. And if it's one of those things, it's so frustrating. It's like if it is negative to a point to where someone would want to stop it, it's gonna get enough negative like PR on its own to where it's going to be pushed aside.
Yeah.
And two, it's not necessary to do that.
Besides, like it's so I don't want to say vague and broad. It is like about racism, but Wizards themselves just published a physical book not that long ago, which had a very clear like this is kind of racist, but okay, I don't blame anyone that could have, I can see how that stuff flies under the radar, right?
And I read through it and I was like, I mean, that's weird for releasing this in this current environment, but I can see how this, like the person writing this did not think it was a bad thing.
Yeah. And that's whatever. I don't want to get into individual people, but
yeah.
Anyways, the virtual tabletop stuff, there's some stuff in there about like they don't want you like replicating how spells look or animating how spells look, which seems like a little like
petty.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like not even petty, just like how do you police that? How do you enforce that?
Because if I animate a spell, that's a little dot of light that turns into fire, and they're like, that's our fireball spell. No, it's not.
No, that's fire orb. Shut up.
That's ball of fire.
Yeah. Get out of here. That's not even a wizard. I think ball of fire is a wizard spell, but I get what you're saying.
I think it's sphere of fire.
Flaming sphere. Yeah. How do you police that? I have a VTT and I do a cloud animation. They're like, that might be fog cloud. Our spell. Actually, it's not. It's 20% different, motherfucker.
Well, so it's just everything, like all their spells and stuff rely on people knowing what natural phenomena look like. Like if you don't know what fog looks like, if there was no such thing as fog, and then they described this thing in an ability in a way that made you think of what fog actually does look like, I'd be like, wow, they stole this. They stole fog.
They stole fog, dude. They totally ripped off fog.
Everyone already knows what fog is because it's a real thing.
Yeah. Man, they're really ripping off God right here.
D&D's the ultimate ripper offer.
Yeah. So let's see what else. For completeness, let's sum this up, is what they say. Virtual tabletop policy, we just talked about that. Ownership disputes. They're now saying you own your content. You don't give Wizards any license back, and for any ownership disputes, you can sue for breach of contract and money damages versus holding up products or other players. Okay, so this one was a weird one. I think this is the one that D&D Short talked about this one, which is like, let's assume, for the sake of this discussion, let's assume D&D stole your content and you can prove that they stole your content. You can sue them. You could even win, but they can just keep selling your stuff the whole time. Now, this actually is a draft.
That's similar to how, like, for music, parody law works. Like, you don't have to have permission from the original artist, but you do have to pay them a percentage.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They could
now, baby. What's up?
He always gets permission because that's how he likes it. But yes.
Yeah. He'll get permission forcefully even.
You're gonna give me permission, Coolio.
I don't want to get off on another tangent here, but
All right,
there was one thing where like he wanted to parody someone's song. They didn't want to let him, and so he was like, "They won't let me parody it." And then like dogpile on this person. They were like, "All right, fine, Weird Al can parody my song." Anyways, that's a little weird. I guess that's fine. Whatever. Whatever. No hateful content or conduct. This is again the thing we've already talked about. They are really pushing this. They really want this
They
to be the
really
main thing.
want to sell this as this is the reason we have to change from the original.
Yeah, we're just so not we're just so not racist. This is why we have to do this. And the creator product badge. I think after this, who wants this thing?
I mean, yeah.
After this debacle, you're a third-party publisher, a big third-party publisher, and you're posting D&D. You don't want their logo on your. You don't want to be associated with them in any way whatsoever. I don't think.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while for everyone to calm down enough to even want to. Yeah, I don't know. Like on the other hand, though, I don't care about the badge at all. It's like who cares? But if I'm a consumer and I'm buying it, I don't look at that badge and be like, "Oh, I'm not buying it." I'm gonna be like, "Oh, okay."
I do.
If I want it, I still want to give them some money. So
the weird thing about it is, let's assume you're a lay person and you just play D&D and you're not keeping up with any of this news, right? You don't have any like ill will or you don't know about any of this stuff. You're totally blind to it. You see this badge. Where are you going to see this badge? How many third-party modules are available in stores?
Are there any?
The only
I don't know.
Listen, the only publisher I even know of. Now, there could be plenty. If there is, let us know. But the only like SRD OGL publisher that I know of that has physical books that you can buy in stores is
Pathfinder,
and it's Pathfinder. Yeah,
okay.
and that's it. I've never seen like any of even Cobalt Press. They're another one of the bigger ones. I've never seen their stuff in stores. It's PDFs online. So like, I don't know who this is for. If this is for the people who are already really big in the online community, they're buying PDFs and they're playing online, which a lot of stuff has gone to, I think
Darrington Press might have some stuff now that I think about it.
Maybe. But do they want to put this logo on their stuff?
I doubt
Probably
it.
not.
I don't know. They haven't really said much. They've been the ones that have sort of stayed out of it. They said they released one thing that was very non-inflammatory. They were just like, we support creators.
Well, yeah, because what else are you going to say? If you're not, this is like if you're not on the side of the mob, you're better off just like sitting there, right?
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, I don't know what kind of contract they have with Wizards, but I mean, they have to have something because D&D Beyond is one of their sponsors sometimes, and D&D Beyond is now owned by Wotc. Darrington Press is Critical Role.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Critical Role.
Yeah, I don't Critical Role is the 500-pound gorilla, right?
Yeah.
if they had come out and said something, then it would have. I mean, it may not have been fixable.
Here's honestly, like, here's the thing. Let's take the two biggest. The streamers are a good thing to talk about. The big streamers, Critical Role, which I don't really watch, and Dimension 20. I don't. Critical Role stuff is like, other than some of the characters, is 100% unique, right?
Yeah, as far as their campaign goes, it's like the gods and the planes, I think, are pretty much,
and the settings,
spell names and stuff. But yeah,
settings, yeah, okay, they're all unique. It's the same thing with Dimension 20. They're like, other than the classes and the races, it's a 100% unique experience. Has nothing to do with anything that Wizards has published. So I feel like with streams like that, if you want to dissociate yourself, it wouldn't be that hard just to be like, oh, we're not elves, we're swelves,
Well, I don't think WotC has a. I mean,
they're not going to go after.
Obviously, is not a copyrightable thing because
races
Tolkien
is one
did
of the
before it.
I know. Yeah. Races is one of the things that they could potentially copyright. I don't know. There is like some weird like how many of these are truly unique. Owl bears are unique to D&D. Beholders are unique to D&D.
Yeah.
Things like that. But like
But like elves, dwarves, humans, halflings, those are all Tolkien. So
what about gnomes? All this
I don't
stuff is
know.
like folklore stuff. Even the stuff
Yeah,
that
it all
isn't
is.
Tolkien is like folklore kind of stuff, most of it.
I don't know about tieflings, actually. Tieflings might be a
Tieflings might be a D&D only thing. Man, maybe I should have looked into that a little more. But
but yeah, I think that, I mean, and to be clear, not the Darrington Press side of Critical Role, but the actual YouTube side of Critical Role would theoretically be unaffected by this at all.
Right.
they will be,
They do make books though, which those would be affected or would have been
because
affected.
the streaming part of it is
They're
just like
already
streaming video
partnered with them.
games. Yeah.
Well, they've partnered with them for some of the stuff, but I don't know if they pay them any kind of royalties for the actual Darrington Press releases. I know they did the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount with Wizards, but
Yeah.
they also did the Taldore campaign setting thing through Darrington Press. Well, through someone else before, and then they did a second run and did some edits to it and ran that through Darrington Press. And I don't think that they have any contract. I mean, I don't know,
Probably
but
not. They're running
they
on
don't have to
OGL
have a contract
1.0A.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have dipped into their pockets, but
So
I don't know.
So
They have any
technical part of it, which has been a little messy for us to talk about. Technical part of it, timeline part of it aside, what are your opinions of how this is playing out? Do you plan on trying anything new, you guys? I know I gave away my cards at the beginning. I would love to try a new system, and now is as good a time as any. But I'm at the will of you guys because I play with you.
I'm gonna wait and see how this turns out. Honestly, if there are lots of creators and stuff who are like it's gonna be very difficult for them to switch gears, right, and go to a different system. It's gonna fracture a lot of things and cause a great deal of unhappiness for people who are already deep into 5e and making things for it.
Mhm.
So if they can walk this back and those people come out fine, I don't have any desire to try something different. There's still plenty of D&D that I have not explored and still want to explore. So I hope
And
that
on
they
the
can fix
horizon,
this.
having a whole new thing coming out, it's like
Yeah.
I want to play D&D. That's what I like to play. That's what I want to play. I don't want to switch. But man, it's just like, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, this was handled incredibly poor, like so poorly that how are these people still employed? Like
Yeah, no firings have come about this. Nothing.
Dude, like I'm not a high level executive by any means. I don't have any experience in that. And like even just sitting here reading news about it, I'm like, how do you mess this up this bad? You have
People just want some fucking money, dude.
no idea how like this community works and how
How
like the
can
community
we
builds this up.
fuck
D&D is
over
large.
everyone
Yeah.
that makes content that just funnels us money?
It's like D&D is large not because it's D&D. D&D is large because of the community that builds up the brand and releases all these
And
things.
that's why I want to stick with it, because I love the community. I love
Yeah.
Critical Role. I love playing myself, you know.
Like my opinion about it is like, wow, this was an incredible like I've never seen not even Blizzard managed to burn this much goodwill so fast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they actually committed a crime. It's been honestly incredible to watch. Me myself, I've played a lot of D&D. I've seen the editions. I've played plenty of 5e. I could totally easily see trying out something completely new that isn't D&D. Now it's D&D adjacent. Pathfinder is similar enough to D&D that you guys would have no problems picking it up. Pathfinder 2. I played the beta for Pathfinder 2. It was just kind of okay. But from what I hear, the completed version's great because they took people's feedback and the game sounds like it has a lot more freedom than D&D, and that appeals to me. But
yeah, I think that a lot of how this is going to affect D&D and Wizards in general is if Dimension 20 and or Critical Role make a change. Because Critical Role and Dimension 20, I would wager are why 50% of current players play.
Yeah. There was
That's
like
a
a
lot.
pandemic.
If
There's like
not
a
even
pandemic
more.
strike in those two.
Yeah, if not more. Between
their
those
streams are
two
huge.
shows, like that has brought Wizards so much attention.
At this point, I don't see how you don't have those two companies in the room with you when you're going, what do you guys think about this idea? What do you guys think about this idea about involving the community in this? Maybe doing this. How about this?
Yeah, which
It's
brings me
like ask the people that make the best content, hey, what can we do to make this better besides fucking everyone?
I could also see very easily Critical Role, Dimension 20. I don't know any other really big streams besides those two. Let's say those two decide without even saying anything, they're going to switch to Pathfinder. They're going to switch to some other system. And they just never mention it.
That will crush Wizards.
You think?
I mean, it won't put them out of business, but
No, I don't think anything. I don't think.
Smush them good.
I think honestly, this whole thing, as big and crazy as it seemed from the inside, realistically, they're not going anywhere. D&D's not going anywhere. It's still going to be popular. It's just if the community changes gears and switches to something else, how much does that affect their bottom line? Does this huge push into D&D Beyond like suddenly become unfeasible, or like I don't think it'll crash the company, but I think it's going to take a while to build up that goodwill again.
Which brings me to one of my solutions is that if they really wanted to, I think that Critical Role, Dimension 20, Paizo, Kobold Press, maybe a couple others, get together and all be like the ones that do the YouTube shows be like, yeah, we're switching to a different rule set, which lowers the value of Wizards. And then they all group up and be like, hey, you want to sell us Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't think that'll ever happen, dude. I don't think they have enough money. Is the thing. I
think that if they all
crash D&D into the ground,
yeah, if they all switched formats for like, or just even threatened to, I'm pretty sure that valuation would go down a lot.
It's like $1 billion brand now, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, because I can't separate it from. We talked a little bit about this before, but I don't know how to separate D&D from Wizards as a whole.
Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards has Avalon Hill and Magic the Gathering and like some other things that they also
care about Avalon Hill. I've never even heard of that until just now.
But they do like board games. Lots of board games. I own some of them. Like I think Risk was one. I don't remember.
Oh, okay, like traditional board games. Wizards of the Coast makes up 70% of Hasbro. I'd say monetarily, probably Magic the Gathering makes more money than D&D.
That would be my guess. That is
I say that because like, you know,
that's what the business model is.
Exactly. I can buy the player's handbook and the DM's guide and play D&D and never need anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm playing Magic the Gathering, I play and they go, here's the new season of cards, and then bam, all that old stuff is worthless. You got to buy new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a money printing machine because it costs anything to make cards.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. If like a bunch, 3 to 5 of the big ones came together and be like, hey, let's throw some money in a pot, buy Dungeons and Dragons away from Wizards and Hasbro, and then we can just do what we want with it.
I don't think that'll happen. I don't think Dungeons and Dragons ever leaves Wizards of the Coast hand. I think even if all these streams and everything said, we're switching to Pathfinder now. We're switching to Kobold Press just released a beta of their own like open tabletop role playing game.
Yeah.
Let's say they all banded together and they're like, you know what, we're getting behind Pathfinder, and now all of our modules, all these other small third parties are like, we're doing Pathfinder 2e content instead of D&D content. We're going to convert all of our old D&D content into Pathfinder.
Technically, that's what Critical Role was Pathfinder before the
stream, though.
Yeah. But original Pathfinder was like 3.5. Let's call it 3.8. It wasn't quite a new system. It wasn't kind of completely new, but it was like an updated 3.5 because of the backlash that happened in 4. That's why like obviously it can recover. 4E was a big hit to D&D as well, like optically.
When they changed the OGL for that too.
Yeah, when they changed the OGL for that as well. Yeah. Even without the OGL though, even like back then, the community was much smaller and everyone hated that this thing changed so much. So then Pathfinder comes along.
True, but if they hadn't changed the OGL,
it probably would have been. Yeah, you're right. Maybe
those people making
I
content for it.
I wasn't as aware of all the third party stuff happening back then.
Yeah, the internet wasn't as big a deal then.
Yeah, well, I mean, Google was around. I'm not 100 years old.
Not like hundreds of thousands of people being mad about something wasn't a thing.
Yeah. The mobs, the Twitter mobs, and stuff like that weren't happening. But if that kind of backlash could happen then, now the game's way bigger. So like everything's amped up to 11, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it baffles me how this got handled. And no one is like, hey, let's stop what we're doing right now.
Look, we should probably respond to this.
Can we please figure out something different?
Anyways, I'm on the Pathfinder boat right now, but I suspect that I won't be able to get anyone else to board the Pathfinder boat in our group.
You hate boats.
I don't hate boats. I hate boats in Michael's campaign because they're always trash. They always crash and burn every single time we get one.
Because every time we get a boat, you're like, let's catch something with fire.
I didn't even burn that last boat. That last boat went up on its own.
Man, so many crashing boats. Anyway, so also I did want to touch on the revenue bit. I don't think that it would have been too big an ask to take like 1 or 2 points off of the profits of things making over 750,000 a year.
Okay.
But they asked for 25 points.
Okay, I was about to say 25%
before losses were taken out.
I have a This is a particularly interesting thing for me because this is how I feel about like Apple's cut in the App Store. This is that kind of mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we want 25% of what you do, even though we have no hand in it whatsoever.
Well, I mean, for Apple, that would be analogous to like if you have a shop in a strip mall paying rent. Right?
Let's not get off on a tangent on Apple, but
they
I
give
would
you
be
the
more than
marketplace.
I would be more than willing to go into a 2-hour conversation about why Apple's cut is bullshit. But we're talking about Wizards of the Coast. We're talking about their 25% of the cut. They're taking 25% of work they did not have anything to do with creating. They're not providing a service. They're not even, they do even less than Apple, I'd say. Apple might have a little bit of an argument. Hey, we maintain the servers that the store is on, you know. They at least have that to like prop one tiny toothpick size hole that's holding up that part of their industry and be like, look, we provide a service. But Wizards didn't even have that. The OGL 1.0A has paid for it. Whatever it cost to make that back then has been recouped way over.
Oh yeah. Like 1,000-fold.
Yeah, there's nothing. They're not providing anything. They're not doing anything. They're just like, we just want a cut of your money, baby. And they're going after the bigger publishers. And I get it, 750,000, and that doesn't affect almost anybody. They were right about that. Well, that only affects the biggest publishers out there. But that's not the point. The point is that it was it felt like such a greedy cash grab. Like
I said, I don't think that if they had said, you know, first off, we're not taking the money off the top. We're taking it after you count in your losses, like your costs. And we're only taking 1 or 2%. Then I'd have been like, well, I see how you don't want other companies to approach your size, given that you are the ones that made the original thing. I get it. Okay.
I don't even necessarily agree with you there. Why do they? Let's assume that the you can't trademark method thing is right. Once again, not a lawyer. Let's assume that's right. Well, then Wizards is literally providing nothing. If your written content doesn't have any of their copyrighted monsters or races or anything like that, then they are contributing zero to the production of this thing.
Well, that's
And they
not
still want to
exactly
cut.
true. They're
It
still
is exactly
contributing.
true. What are they
It's
contributing?
just it's the method. I know that you can't copyright it, but that's still a contribution. Just because you can't copyright it doesn't mean you did no work.
Okay. But
If
let's
I
take
sit around and come up with a whole game rules, and then someone else is like, I'm going to use those but I'm going to market it better, and then they get rich off of my work just because I can't copyright
but
it.
you have
that
no
feels
legal
bad.
grounds. You have no legal ground. I mean, it might feel bad, but you don't have any legal grounds to do anything about it.
Okay, the legal.
So you're basically
what
saying
I'm
Eric right now
about.
is get fucked. Wizards right.
There's nothing there. Like it's like a Charles Dickens novel, right? I could publish a Charles Dickens novel right now. It's in the public domain, right? It's kind of the same thing. The rules are essentially in the public domain. If I wrote rules for a tabletop gaming system tomorrow and they got as big as Dungeons and Dragons, and then someone was like, I'm posting the same exact rules, but I'm renaming all the stuff and it's different stuff, I might be pissed about it, but there's nothing I can do about it. And so but D&D Wizards is built up on this man, I'm saying too much. It's built up on this predication of this community being able to build things that they want to contribute to the value of Dungeons and Dragons, and the executives are going, I don't like how we're not making money out of it. I don't like how we can't hoover the cash right out of their wallets, boys. Let's pass this thing.
To be clear, I think that they should just not have changed it at all.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is I don't think that the outrage would have been there had they done it differently. Had they just been like, yeah, we're going to take a very small amount after your costs just because we did start this, we would like a little bit.
I think
that would not have been such as big a deal.
Any amount of money that they said they were going to take out of someone's pocket would have gotten the same reaction. I know 25% is
it's absurd.
Obscene.
Pre-cost is absurd.
Yeah,
that's the money you made, if not more.
Yeah. But even 1%, if I was a business that was publishing these things and I was making more than 750,000 and they were like, yeah, well, we want 1 to 2% of your profits. I'm like, you can get fucked up the ass because I'm not giving it to you. You don't have any reason to take it from me, and you can't take it from me. That's my opinion on that. They and obviously they've really walked that back. They're like, oh, actually, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do
that. I think that it is weird that they they started with such a high number and then went back to 0 is very suspicious to me. It makes it seem like it makes it seem like that the same thing that I felt about when they took away nat 20s for casters and DMs.
This is
it feels like, hey, look over here while we do something over here.
That's what it feels like. It's the new Coke conspiracy.
Yeah, it's
like, hey guys, here's new Coke. Remember old Coke? It's gone forever, and we're not bringing it back. And everyone's like, well, new Coke sucks. And they're like, psych, new Coke's out. Here's a classic Coke. And everyone's like, woo, classic Coke, baby. You do this to
like. That's exactly what it feels
distract from some other shady shit.
Yes, that's what it feels like.
Here's the ultimate play. They're like, we're going to fit racism back into this. And we're going to disguise it.
They've been playing the whole time. They're like, we're really gonna up this monetization thing, and then we're gonna insert the racism right back in there.
Yeah, it's just it's bewildering why the only reason that they would change it. The whole anti-racism thing is all bullshit. I don't believe a word of it. No. The only reason that a company, starting with the execs, is going to change this OGL is for money. And the fact that they took their 25% and made it 0 makes me think they're gonna try to get it somewhere else. And it's almost certainly gonna be through virtual tabletop.
If they want to get some money, all they need to do is go, "Hey guys, we launched this Kickstarter." Boom.
What? Who's going to kickstart a Wizards of the Coast Kickstarter?
No, I'm telling you, dude. Look at what the Critical Role did, man.
Critical Role's a small, like...
I get that, but if Wizards of the Coast was like, "Hey guys, we're working on this huge project we're gonna make all these books and blah 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 blah. Why don't you donate to it? Start a Patreon."
It's a pre-sale, is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
start a Patreon.
If Wizards wants to make Dungeons and Dragons,
same difference. Instead of Kickstarter, it's a pre-sale, but that's what I'm saying.
Dude, you do a D&D Beyond Battle Pass.
There you go.
They basically do. That's
more
what
hours you play.
Is.
No, you gotta do more. It's $9.99 a month, and then on top of that, you've got your dice, which they're doing new digital dice set.
You can don't you want
levels? Don't you want your fake dice to look something? Yeah, to look like something else.
God.
Yeah, you sell
go
levels.
To your next D&D session. You're like, "Hey everyone, how's it going?" And they start playing, and all of a sudden you pull out a 9th level spell, and your DM's like, "What are you doing?" "I paid to get level 20 on your character."
I bought the level up DLC.
Oh my God. Other party's going, "God, I don't want to play, dude. Just pay me."
We're monetizing. Listen, Wizard of the Coast, listen to this episode, only the last 20 minutes of it, and we'll tell you how to monetize. You start selling magic items for $1 a piece and be inserted on your...
That's what they're already going to do that when they're VTT. They're absolutely going to do that.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be like, "Oh, you want to cast Cyclone? Well, buy the Wizard Magic Spell Pack for $15.99.
Oh, did you want a Holy Avenger to put on your character? $5.
Oh yeah, $5 for that bad boy.
Look at my guy hold that sword.
Oh, dang, my mini looks sick with that sword.
I'm just saying, if they made a game, if the minis don't move and hit something, and I'm paying for swords, I'm having a call.
I'm having a moment here.
I'm writing a letter.
You sell me something. You need to put something else in this game I could spend my money on. They're just going to start charging it by the word.
"I bought this sword and it doesn't glow the color I wanted it to, and I don't like it."
God, that's gonna feel so awful. Because that's what they're gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely, what they're gonna do.
We're joking, but like, it's gonna be like, "And here's the game," and everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, this looks amazing." Because, like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the trailer for it was like, "Dang, that does look pretty good." And if you can customize your models, that's pretty good. But they're gonna be like, "All right, sick. The game's $25.99. All right, cool. I can pay that." And you pay it, and you get in, and you're like, "Do you want to unlock 12 new hairstyles? Buy the hairstyle pack for $5.
Yep, that's exactly what is going to happen. That's why
they're trying to get all the base stuff that you get. It's going to look like shit. Like, be like, "Do you want to wear brown trousers and a brown jacket with brown boots and brown hair? That's your starter kit.
That's free
on your human." Oh, yeah. Oh, if you want to be an elf, you got to buy the elf pack.
Yeah, you got to buy the expanded race collection.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, they don't call them races.
You can buy individual races, or you can get the bundle.
You can get the bundle. Yeah, you can buy them one by one for $5 a piece, or you can buy a bundle for $50.
It comes with everything. No.
Buy the armor DLC, dude. You want horse armor? It's horse armor all over again.
Do you hate taking critical damage? Buy the adamantine pack.
Yeah, buy the adamantine pack. Add it to your character, dude.
Oh
my god. I love it, dude. This is the battle pass. If you play this many hours of D&D, you can unlock the special Wang Jangler of Extremitude to add to your character. And it's like, "Oh, I gotta have the Wang Jangler of Extremitude. Otherwise, my character looks like crap." Want to have your name engraved on the front of your armor? That's an add-on pack, baby.
Oh no! Don't know.
You already have 3 miniatures. Spend $5.99 to get another slot.
Yeah, man. Character slots. Yeah, you can make all the characters you want, but you gotta buy slots, baby. $1 a piece for them slots.
I'm so sad because That is absolutely what is going to
That
happen.
is absolutely what it is, dude.
The slots won't, because you'll have your D&D Beyond subscription will give you infinite slots.
Oh yeah, you got to pay for that though. They'll raise the
Yeah.
price. $15.99 a month once the VTT comes out because it gets you unlimited slots in the game, which you still have to buy. So you link your account. Oh, and then the virtual dice make a lot more sense now because then your dice skin comes into the game. Do you want glowing RGB dice?
Yep.
Boom, right into the virtual tabletop. $12.99. What's up?
Do you like? We know you have 12 sets of dice, but do you want to be able to take a D20 from this set and a D8 from this other set? That's an extra $2.
No. Here's the thing. They allow you to mix and match. Do you want it to look like your dice fall from the heavens and strike lightning upon the ground when they land? Buy the
effects.
dice effect pack for $15.
Oh my god. That's so sad because we know it's coming. It's coming.
I'm just like,
do you want woodland terrain?
You want woodland terrain?
Fire.
All we gave you was the basic
Dwarven
dungeon
Forge
pack.
woodland pack.
We've partnered with Dwarven Forge
to move all their tiles into our VTT. $300 for the pay. And if you've looked at Dwarven Forge stuff, you know they charge big bucks for that stuff. Dwarven Forge stuff is so expensive. It's very nice. It is very, very nice. Very high quality. Dwarven Forge, you're killing it over there. But it is a little expensive.
But I can't afford it.
But I can't afford it. One of the groups I used to play with had a set of them. They're gorgeous. They had the dungeon tiles from like way back.
We're only ever playing in this dungeon, guys. Just get used to it.
I never played on them. I only saw them because they were like such a pain to set up. Because it's like a table that we folded out every week.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not setting that up. I'm like, God dang, you got like $400 worth of this shit right here. And that was like 2008.
Just use it.
Yeah. Oh man. Adjusted for inflation, that's $5,000 worth of Dwarven Forge, dude. Yeah. I've just been a part of this like cynical cash grab, like DLC-ification of everything in my life.
AKA
for so long.
Capitalism. I've been a part of capitalism for so long. It's beginning to eat itself.
It's gonna be like a cable subscription, but for D&D.
Yep.
You're gonna end up like $100 a month, dude.
Then you're gonna be like, why do my prices keep going up?
Why do I keep not having any money at the end of the month? Only thing I think we didn't really talk about was I forgot where I was going with this. Give me a moment.
This is the part where I'm gonna have to.
I lost it. Yeah, you're gonna edit it. What was I gonna say? Oh, nope, I lost it again. It was almost there. I reached for it and my fingers slipped off.
I'm gonna leave all this in.
Great. What was it I was gonna say?
Oh,
the feedback thing.
Feedback thing. All right, hit me.
Because they've said now that they're giving the OGL and they're gonna use feedback the same as they.
They said they're gonna. It's a play test of the new OGL. What do you think anything will change?
Well, so it does seem like they're trying to get all of the bad press off of places like Reddit and Twitter so that they can have it all in one spot that's not public and they can do with what they want. So I would say that if you were already doing like Reddit and Twitter and stuff, don't stop doing that. I think that it's probably a good idea to keep the pressure on Wizards to do not the scummy thing. But they have like the dev team at least has said that they do read those. Now I don't know if they're going to read the OGL because that's not their purview. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to read the OGL feedback from their website. Who knows? So that's my only advice: is to if you're thinking about switching from making your complaints public to putting them inside Wizards thing, don't do that.
Also,
do both if you really
want
to.
While we're still on this, like we're still hot on the heels of our amazing VTT DLC stuff going on. I want to read exactly what they said so we're clear. What is permitted under this VTT policy? using VTTs to replicate the experience of sitting around the table playing D&D with your friends. So displaying static SRD content is just fine, because it's just looking in a source book. You can put the text of Magic Missile up in your VTT and use it to calculate and apply damage to your target, and automating Magic Missile's damage to replace manual rolling and calculating is also fine. The VTT can apply Magic Missile's 1d4 plus 1 damage automatically to your target's hit points. You do not have to manually calculate and track the damage. What isn't permitted are features that don't replicate your dining room table storytelling. If you replace your imagination with a animation of the magic missile streaking across the board to strike the target, or your VTT integrates our content into an NFT, that's not the tabletop experience. That's more like a video game. That is so broad and vague that it's like, NFTs, sure, nobody likes NFTs. If you like NFTs, you suck. But love them. It's my favorite. Animations? What does that mean? We talked about this a little bit earlier. Is walking an animation that's not part of the tabletop experience?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to be like, oh, well, that's magic missiles, and versus any other thing that you could imagine that it is. Like it's
or just your character's moving, swinging a sword. Your character swings a sword. You can't be using this license.
Yeah,
if your VTT includes an animation of you swinging.
It seems like they're going to try to really pin down the spell effects, because they did like make some of those spells, right, and their names.
Dude, they're going to pin.
So it seems like that's where they're going to put their tent pole, but it doesn't.
If they're talking about animation, you get prepared for the sword swinging DLC. You get ready for it, dude.
Yeah, the sneak attack animation.
Yeah. Want to have your character be able to crouch and walk up behind someone? Buy it.
I don't know how are they going to do, because like
take full advantage of a rogue.
This is a written thing that is being converted to visual. There's no way that you can be like, that's what we meant when we wrote it.
Yeah,
is that animation? No, you can't know that.
I think that like that part of it needs to change. I think that the VTT, they talk about like, no, you can't use like our owlbear art. That's reasonable. Sure. Great. Some of this just seems like ridiculous. As we've said, I think we've been harping on it long enough, but yeah, the hilarity of all this DLC stuff we're talking about, that is what will come to pass. Yeah.
It is coming.
It is coming.
Make no doubt about it. It is coming.
If you want to buy a 4-strength, 4-stam leather belt.
A
deep cut reference for our older audience. You're going to have to buy that.
God. Ugh, this makes me feel like I need to take a shower. So
are you going to switch to Pathfinder when they're like, buy the packs, baby?
No, I'm just going to keep using Tailspire.
Tailspire. Hey, what's up, Tailspire? I love you. You're great. Everything you're doing is fantastic.
Don't ever change.
Optimize the game a little bit, but I understand. It's a beta.
It's an early access. You're doing
draft.
You're doing great work.
Doing great work.
All 5 of you, or however many there are.
Yeah, I think there's 5 of them or something like that. You're killing it, Tailspire. We love you. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. This was just like a rant episode.
Yeah.
So that's okay though.
We had some great laughs about the future.
Any closing thoughts before I tell Craig to get out of here?
I think the only way to fully negate this is to just be like, you know what, we were wrong. We're going back to the 1.0A.
Just admit to it. Just admit to it. Just be the first person to finally just go, sorry guys, we completely fucked this.
Yep, that's all I wanted.
And you know what? We heard you. We're not going to do any of it. We're just going to revise this, completely get rid of it, and start anew.
Yep.
That's the way to completely do it. They're not going to do that.
If they'd have done that within 2 days, if they'd have just come out and said, man, sorry everyone, we fucked that up. Well, we're gonna fix it, and here's how we're gonna fix it, and we're gonna go back to 1.0A until the foreseeable future, and we'll go back to the drawing board. I'd be like, okay, cool.
Thanks.
But they're not going to do that. So we'll see what they do. It's an ever evolving situation that they are going to. They've already messed up their relationships. They are not going to try to put them back the way they were, which is unfortunate. But we'll see what they do. Maybe, I mean,
maybe we'll be playing.
It seems like I think that exactly what I said earlier is what's happening. They wanted to make this look like something that it wasn't. They wanted to make it look like an attack on the publishers of these books and stuff. And it's not. It's an attack on virtual tabletops because they want to be the only one so they can sell you all the things.
That's money, baby. All right, boys. Maybe we won't even play Pathfinder. Maybe we'll play old school Renaissance. We play in D&D 1.0 revised for the modern age.
Well, I know Michael wants to, after this campaign, he wants to do Traveler.
Oh yeah, Traveler. Maybe we'll try Traveler. I don't know. The future is
Traveler.
Yeah. I'll be down. I would be down to try it for like a short like a mini campaign.
I don't want to do a year-long campaign, but I'll do a small thing for it.
Yeah, but there's still a bunch of stuff I want to try in D&D before I'm done with it.
I just want to I'm just D&D. That's me.
D&D, that's me.
That's what I want to play.
That should have been the name of the podcast. D&D, that's me.
We might be taking D&D out of the name of this podcast here soon.
Yep.
Anyways, that's for the future to hold, just like what's going to happen with all this stuff. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.